This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
I vowed to get the guy who killed Lem.
They set me up.
I still haven't made good on my promise.
Own the final act of The Shield.
I got a plan that'll give Lem the justice he deserves.
The complete 7th season.
I keep trying to do the right thing.
Vic is never going to forgive you for Lem.
The most brilliant series finale I've ever seen.
I didn't get to say goodbye to my children.
You say goodbye to them the moment you shot another cop in the face.
This is how you end a series.
You have to pay some kind of price.
It's not too late. We still have a choice.
You are to stand down.
I'm not an executioner!
Do you have any idea what you've done to me?
I've done worse.
Own all 7 seasons of The Shield on DVD.
That's just Detective Mackey's way of saying goodbye.
Packed with exclusive bonus features.
Don't you make me break a sweat trying to catch you!
Including featurettes, commentaries, and deleted scenes.
I brokered this deal. I set the terms. I expect your boss to live up to them.
Michael Chiklis, Glenn Close, Walton Goggins, Jay Carnes, Benito Martinez, and CCH Pounder. Guest starring Forrest Whitaker.
You've murdered 2 of your own team members.
I need you to step aside.
I don't step aside. I step up.
So, we've talked about the show at length. We've talked about the overview, the themes. We've talked about the spin-off material like the comic books and video game. We've talked about all other sorts of material as well as our favorite moments. So now it's, to put it to a close, we're basically doing a villains ranking. So,
wait, they're comic books for this?
Yes.
Yes.
What? That's awesome. I had no idea. I didn't know there was like this expanded universe.
Yeah, it's just like a series of I think it's 5 chapters or comics.
Do they like take place after the show ends, or is it like side stories? Or
I even interviewed the guy that did them, and we spoke about it, but I don't even remember where they are set. But I believe it's between one of the seasons. I just don't remember which one.
Oh, that's fascinating. I love when people make comics as like expanded material on
they did it in the
show or movie or whatever. It's just a world that it's just like, yeah, let's just make some comics and tell these other stories in this world that we love.
They're making use not only of the IDW comic book format, but also it's just a fun kind of side quest for all these characters.
Yeah, I mean, when you create a world that people enjoy, yeah, do that. Like, tell more stories within that construct. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm just reading about it because I had something about it written, and it says it's believed to be set sometime in the middle or during season 1 or season 2. So somewhere between those.
It's an interesting time to set it.
Oh, and they did good with the format. It was very explosive on its own merit, which is pretty good because there's a lot of time material where you're like, that doesn't, why? Like that you use the characters, you use their likeness, but there's not much
That's
story
a fascinating time to set it because you're still beholden to the show. You know, you have a lot of constructs, like a lot of like barriers that you can't. You know, you have to fit it into this box. Like when comics do something like you have a comic for something that's already over, and then you can, you know, you have a little more free reign. But to do it during like you're fitting it into a tiny, like your target is much smaller.
Yeah, and I believe that everybody had to. They the ones that did the comic, they had to talk with I know they talked with Michael Chiklis. I know they talked with Sean Ryan a bit, and they sort of to get the feel of the characters and also green light where everything was going.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why Sean is essential to the show, because like all the other writers, you know, they've done the other crime stuff, mystery shows. That's why they included a lot of the shocking crime scenes. They were like, those are our X-Files horror moments. And, you know, Sean is just so good in that, much like the Always Sunny guys. He didn't ask FX for any lenience or any extra budget. He just said, are we doing it the way you want? And they're leaving us alone. So, you know, he just always made sure we do have a pickup for next year, right? And kudos to him. He always has, like any good writer, this made me a fan of him, because then I watch his other stuff he does, like The Unit and Terriers, and then seeing where he came from. Like,
I haven't seen Terriers, but I often hear like I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it too. Yeah,
canceled too prematurely, but yeah, Last Resort, and he did a
Last
pilot.
Resort. I've seen it.
Great one, and he did the pilot he did an unsold pilot for Friends, and that gave him a lot of traction in the industry, because everyone's like, you know how to tell people what the show's about without over explaining it.
Yeah. Well, we talk about, I mean, I've been on a lot, and even in they're just free time talking together about how studios, like when something's bad, it's almost always because the studio or the executives got in the way. FX, they deserve their flowers, because they really do just let creatives cook. Like they'll give notes, but they won't make you do it.
Right.
They shit on studios a lot, and the execs, and the horrible ideas and things that they screw up. So I got to give them their flowers. They seem to be the one that's just like, yeah, we hired talented people, so let those talented people be talented people.
Well, it's also the amount of time you spend on it. Sometimes you just got to say the bad idea out loud before you realize, you know, that does sound very unappealing. I don't think anyone's going to watch that. You know, you got to imagine it. You got to go so many different ways. And sometimes, even if you're speaking the same lingo, it's also just, how much are we talking about investing in this? And
I mean, so many studio execs just like give notes because it's like, I'm trying to justify my job and my salary. Like, even though I have no business telling
I've already earned
anything,
my fee, but
they seem to be like, no, like, why wouldn't you do it that way? Like, I mean, I'm lazy, so I'd be like, yeah, I hired this person, let you do it.
I
don't want to actually do anything.
There you go. I trust him to do a good job. So there's so many villains on this show alone, and we made some good points on how you never really see the real Vic until like his final scenes where he reveals everything. And Carlo, you know,
you could argue that the very first episode you see the real Vic.
Right, but he doesn't reveal what they meant is he doesn't reveal everything and why he did it until the very end.
You will be granted full immunity for any and all truthful statements you make tonight. Anything you fail to disclose, or if your statements are false, or if you ever fail to provide your agreed upon services, the entire deal will be voided.
What about Corinne on the aiding and abetting?
Her immunity is covered in Section C. Your statement will be recorded. We've got a few hours if you're going to meet Beltran by midnight, but let's try to get through this quickly. Is there anything you want to say before I turn on the recorder? State your full name.
Victor Samuel Mackey.
Also present is Olivia Murray with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The date is... These declarations of his own free will. If you agree with this statement, please say yes.
Yes.
Anytime you're ready.
During a raid on a drug dealer named Two Time, I shot and killed Detective Terry Crowley.
You killed a police officer?
I planned it. I carried it out. I shot him once, just below the eye. Our strike team was committing criminal acts on a regular basis. At first, it was just taking drugs from a bus, turning it around and selling it for profit. We were able to do this by making partnerships with local drug dealers and gangs, that we knew we could leverage.
You son of a bitch.
I killed Crowley to protect me and my guys. I shot him with Two Times gun to divert suspicion, but Aceveda knew. So did Kavanaugh. The IAD investigator was after us. They just couldn't prove it. I was too good.
Is that it?
How much memory has that thing got?
You see a different persona.
I mean, the balls for them to have him just shoot that guy in the first step. It's crazy. I feel like they kind of walk it back afterwards because you do have to want to spend time with this guy. Like, they don't make it okay, but I felt like they kind of walked it back a little bit.
A little bit. And Carlo, you love the psychology and interplay of characters and how it portrays a bigger story in both film and TV. What was the biggest takeaway, you think, just from just showing this level of corruption and how everybody's doing double standards? One minute you have villains saying, wait, no, you don't do that. And then the next thing you're like, only I can do that because only I know how to get away with it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I really like about the show. It's in a conversation we're having about quote unquote villains, is the thing that there are no clear good guys or clear bad guys in the show. I mean, you could argue that everybody's a villain.
And people like to do anti-hero.
Yeah,
like
everyone's a hero in their own story, but like you can make a case for everyone being good or bad, honestly.
Yeah, and I think
it's that gray area that they live in.
Yeah, exactly.
And they nail it.
They thread that line pretty well. Yeah.
Oh, and Ronnie's a tool. And
Ronnie!
Ronald Everett Gardaki, you're under arrest.
For what?
The last 3 years. The Armenian money train robbery, covering up Terry Crowley's murder. Mackey gave the feds everything. Already got himself full immunity. Not you, though.
What? You told them all of it?
Ronnie.
You made a deal for yourself and you're sending me to prison?
I'm sorry, my family. I thought Corinne...
You goddamn sorry!
Process him.
Take him in.
I didn't think I had a choice.
Oh, what about my goddamn choice?
Okay, all right.
Where was my goddamn choice? I was going to run! We were going to run together! God damn it! What about the team? What about protecting the goddamn team?
Yeah. You can go now.
Curtis, Lemonhead has ambitions and is willing to testify, but also goes along with it if he were allowed to do what he wants. Aceveda goes to the dark side of politics. Armadillo's a serial killer gang leader.
Time for you to leave.
My house, unless you have a warrant, it's breaking the law.
One of these laws?
I told you to leave!
This doesn't kill me.
Tell me to leave! Say it!
And then Kavanaugh, is breaking the law just to bring Mackey to justice, even though there's plenty of other evidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's the gray area. It's like, oh, yeah, he's a bad guy, but then you're doing bad things to like the ends justify the means kind of stuff.
So the one shitbag that I will always have in my mind where I'm like, oh, give him the death penalty was still probably Cleavon Gardner. He's the serial killer. Taunts
Claudette's nemesis.
Yeah, it's hard to have a gray area with a serial killer.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, yeah, well, from this perspective.
And it was just
but I think that again, that thing that the show does so greatly, and other shows have done it, not in the same way, but for example, Breaking Bad, we could argue, does a similar thing. But it's how in that first episode, like we were talking, you end up with our quote unquote hero shooting another cop in the face.
Yeah, our protagonist in heavy
yes, and then how the show pulls us to kind of root for this guy, even though even
though we originally saw him do this horrific thing.
Exactly.
And you're still like, fuck yeah, Mackie, get him.
And it does it in a really clever way, because it starts putting even guys that are even badder than him as these gang members or antagonists, but then you try to juxtapose with for example, someone like Aceveda, who I believe you can at least that was my case in the first season. I was kind of rooting for Aceveda.
He was very charismatic. I'm like, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah,
and
just like his arc is fucking fascinating.
Yeah, and then the tables turn, and then you start to see his side, and then you see how he starts corrupting himself, and or was he even corrupted from the beginning?
Yeah,
it's a really interesting
like, is
way.
evil begetting evil, or like was that already there in each and every one of these people, and circumstances brought it out and allowed them to, or like?
And they sugarcoat.
That's what's
everything.
so fascinating about it.
But they notice how they sugarcoat everything, because like, you know, Mackie plays everything off and then does smart ass jokes and charisma, and then but it's so wild with freaking Aceveda. He hides everything with cynicism. Well, just another day at the office. It's like no. Hold on a second. And it's
it's all how they deal with the monster inside them, right?
Right, and Walton Goggin.
It's like how you lie to yourself to make you still the hero of your story,
Anything I can do.
What do I have to do to justify it, not to just to everyone else, but to yourself, so you can keep going.
And it's so wild seeing how Walton Goggins believes strongly that with Shane he must be abused, because there's a reason he's saying all these inappropriate things, but then fears Mackie until the very end.
God, I love Wally Goggs. I'm so glad he's getting his day now.
He has so much charisma, but he is a very diverse guy.
He's been so good for so long, and like now everyone knows it.
And he almost didn't make it.
The Shield. Did you realize at the time what that show was like?
I know. I know Michael Chiklis has been on your show a few times, and none of us did. Nobody knew what FX was. I was a time in my life where I'd been fortunate enough to do movies for a number of years. But anything really in television and network television, which was really kind of the only game in town, I don't have a face for that. That's just, people didn't look at me back then. People barely look at me now and think until now,
right?
And think like, yeah, that guy's perfect for Beverly Hills 90210. Yeah, we'll take him. But it took the FX kind of coming up and HBO, The Sopranos was the first, but. The Shield was number 2. We were on the air like 6 months after The Sopranos, and it took that kind of gritty storytelling, I suppose, for people like me to get a shot.
Right.
And when we were doing the pilot here in LA, I remember no one knew kind of what was permissible and not permissible, like in regards to language or in regards to smoking, and I actually said this once, and I said, man, can I have a cigarette while we wash this car, at this car wash, while this drug deal is going down? And so they all looked at each other and said, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, why not? I don't know. Go for it. And kind of everything about that show. And it was only after that we did the pilot. And this was, but pre 9/11, and then the pickup was post 9/11.
Right.
And conversations that took place in order to kind of make that decision. But when it first kind of came out and that first episode came out, it's like, man, we might be sitting on something here. But Sean Ryan and the rest of us told that first season as if we would never get another season. And if you watch it, it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and one where we could all kind of walk away from. And little did we know that we were going to be some of the first actors alive, really, to be going through, an 84-hour exploration of what it means to be these people that we're portraying. It was extraordinary, man. Really, and I think anyone on The Sopranos would say the exact same thing. I mean, out of the gate, and I know Bryan Cranston would say the same thing
about Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's gotten the opportunity to tell a story, a serialized story,
right,
over 85 hours, you leave no stone unturned, and we certainly didn't do that on The Shield.
That's one of the things that I always find fascinating because I really love him as an actor, but I don't know if it was FX or someone, some higher upper dude wasn't so sure about Goggins to begin with, and Sean Ryan had to test to run him, so to speak, in the first season, to convince everybody that he was the right fit for the role. And that's why the second episode is very, very Shane centric in how the script gives him all these chances to show off in the interrogation with Dutch and Acevedo are questioning him back and forth about what happened with Terry.
Just to let him cook, be like, look at this dude, he knows he's great. Like, watch him showcase it. That's
and
fascinating.
eventually, they agreed. They said, okay, you got your dude.
Well, see, that's credit
was
to
very
FX
adamant
to even give them the chance to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's cut to who's the ultimate villain. So we've done a bunch of good build-ups.
I mean, it's Vic, right?
Okay, well, but that's what I'm saying. We know they're all bad, but who do you think did the most mayhem? Because Shane decides to kill some of the other members and run off with the money, but Vic also set everyone up for failure. So
I think it's Vic because he set everything in motion. Like, he's the ringleader, and everyone's taking their cues from him. It's like, if it's okay for him to do these things, then I can go even further, and he's gonna cover for me, this, that, whatever. I think he is the main. I mean, he's the villain and the hero of it.
I think I should have look for this quote, but I didn't really look for it. But there's a quote in the letter that Shane leaves for Big at the end of the show. That sort of brings that
I have
essence
it,
that
actually. I just looked that up. Let me try and find it.
It gets that idea that Big is the one that poisons everybody.
He poisoned the well.
Yeah, poison. That's the right word. He just infects everyone, make the evil. It permeates through everyone he touches and everyone he interacts with.
It's something I remember.
Look at a contrast with The Wire. McNulty, he's a good detective, but he's a terrible person. He has nothing in common with his kids, and he tries and fails to connect. Here, Vic doesn't spend any time with his kids and wants to connect, and he keeps being like, "Oh, what did I do wrong?" I'm like, it's interesting seeing how every villain, they like to act like they're a victim. I'm like, no, you don't get any grieving points from us if you didn't make any work or attempts to connect as a human. Yet, and it's so funny. They fool us a few times. They do try a few different times where they're like, he feels cheated when he gets the money train, but it's like, yeah, but he was always going to go after that money, anything to steal money. It's just, he thought it could buy him happiness and it didn't. And it's just so funny seeing all these guys stumble, on their ass. And the show makes great use of dark comedy as well as other suspenseful camera angles to bring out all these moods. It's just compelling stuff. And
I mean, Chickless is amazing. And the balls to cast the commish as your anti-hero. That's wild.
That's how it is.
You're Ben Grimm from these stupid Fantastic Four movies, the commish from this serialized nonsense, and then you're going to make him this badass.
He understands.
That's crazy. On paper, that's crazy.
It is, and he understood comedy, so that was the
Sean Ryan is right. I mean, it reminds me of Bryan Cranston. It's he's just a silly dad from Malcolm in the Middle, the dentist from Seinfeld.
That's a great parallel.
Doing putting him in his tidy whities in the desert with a gun. This is insane.
Right.
But
And
yeah, we all know how that turned out.
Well, and that's what gave that show inspiration. Just Sony, they're still have my blessing because I know they're going to come up with some unusual but captivating premise that's ultimately what they go for.
Sony did this?
Yes, for FX. Yeah.
So Sony Television might know what they're doing, but their movie division doesn't seem to understand how.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different well of corruption.
That's fascinating to me. I didn't realize that.
So let's go with our favorite like background villain.
We all agree about Big, but I think the one that left a bigger impression for me is Antoine Mitchell. I think
Yes.
Anthony Anderson. It at that time I only knew him from comedies
Anderson.
and stuff, and when I saw him in this role, it simply blew my mind. I thought, where did he really had this in him? He's evil, and not only that, but it's an arc that
bad guys preying on other bad guys.
Yeah, and it's an arc that starts in season 4 but extends to season 6 and even I think it's season 7 even, with all the machinations that he does even from jail, and all the things that he still managed to pull. I think it's my favorite villain.
Couldn't pass up a police escort. I felt like the mayor of Crackertown.
Enjoy it now. Your next police escort might not be a round trip.
I thought we were being friendly. Times like this, a community needs to come together.
Here's the waiver. Says you agree to talk to us without the presence of an attorney.
Waive my constitutional rights. Let it be said that Antoine Mitchell is all about the help.
Who killed our cops?
Way people feeling about y'all these days. Could have been anybody.
You've been speaking out against the seizures. Our dead cops were found in a seized house. You sure that wasn't your idea of a protest song?
This may come as a big surprise to you, but there's a lot of shit that goes on out there I ain't privy to.
That house is in Niner territory. You're king of the one-niners. You're telling me you didn't order the hit? Hear about it afterwards?
I just got off the plane. I ain't even been back to the castle yet.
Yeah, that was convenient. Out of town just long enough for 2 cops to get murdered. You know what happens now, don't you? Investigation never ends. Ever. Did you hear about Antoine's son? Donald III?
He's in county, isn't he?
Oh. Turns out Don's been a bad boy in lockup. The surveillance camera caught him in the bathroom with another inmate. Guards say that he wasn't forced. Did you know that your son was gay, Antoine? Oh, I didn't know your crew was so friendly with the Mexicans. Makes me kind of wonder what would happen if I pulled a few strings and had him transferred to Folsom.
Little Tijuana? You'd have a line of boyfriends outside his cell.
I want to know who killed our cops. When I come back, you help me with that. We'll talk about how I can help your son.
I'll take care of that. I didn't know about the kid in this game. You goddamn busted him. Check yourself. No. You better check her. Don't forget, I got cards to play here too.
And it's wild how they read each other differently. Like Ronnie is kind of the Kenny of South Park on the show. He is always getting injured, no matter whether Vic made the decision or Shane made the decision. And
yeah,
and
poor Ronnie. He was my favorite.
Poor Ronnie.
I like that you said Anthony Anderson because like he was known for like kind of like comedic.
He would steal the show every time,
and
it was.
I'm guilty of this too, but we're always so surprised when like a comedic actor, or comedian, or something like kills a dramatic role. Like I mean, a Bryan Cranston, like Bill Burr did it in like Breaking Bad. Like we see it happen all the time, and we're always for some reason surprised.
Yes,
which we shouldn't be, because comedy is actually way harder. Like not everyone can do comedy, but everyone's had a dramatic thing happen to them in their lives.
It's one of those you got to be in the industry for people to know.
More people can do drama, but you can't do comedy, so it shouldn't be that like big of a stretch that you can perform comedy and then like
I think it's just
do these crazy roles.
It's just they've seen it done bad, so they think it's only this way or that way, and it's like no,
it's just we think of them as like the silly clown. Like how could you elicit emotions from it? But like yeah, of course you should be able to do that.
Well,
you made me laugh, and now you made me hate you. Yeah,
like it just seems so. It's such a stark contrast to like what you've seen them. It's just almost jarring, but we shouldn't be surprised by that. I mean, we all are though.
Well, and Hollywood did too good a job covering up just depressing entertainment stuff from the 50s to 70s on how, people struggle with depression and drinking. And it's like, well,
yeah, depression wasn't real then. It was just like, you have the blues.
I know you guys know, but it's just interesting how we have to keep reminding everyone, I'm like, you can keep erasing history. And same thing here. Like, this show does a good job of never stating the obvious. We know everyone's corrupted by greed and power. And Vic is, again, if you say the same BS multiple times, you're gonna believe it. And it's like,
it's just it's like at a certain point you're lying to yourself.
I'm having these gangs fight each other. I'm like, and how did you go about that? By murdering one of them for the other guy to have the turf. It's like, it's
just so interesting to see like the mental gymnastics that every character does to still remain like thinking they're the hero of
and everybody
story, even though like you do more and more fucked up things like in search of like the truth or the win or the righteous path, but you're doing it's littered with bodies.
And the other good cops, they flirt with danger and everything, and they realize this is why I got to get out. That they never came off as we just need a position, or you're the expo dump guy. Is like that they're all impacted by this web. And even though they're keeping an eye on them, they're like, we don't know how to contain them. And since the superiors and, internal affairs guys are reviewing it, we also don't know what's going on because we don't know who's in whose pocket. We just are like, let's just not work with this guy if we can help it.
You can also see like how a good cop could be like, oh, he's taking down this or that, or like getting results. Like,
yeah,
and that's something that also it's interesting because in the first season when Acevedo comes to the barn and he starts he has a conversation, I think it's in the first episode with Claudette, where she basically says, I stay out of his way because he brings a bad guy. But as Claudette gets more involved and then she becomes a captain and all that, she is again poisoned. She doesn't go to the extreme, but she's poisoned, and even physically she ends up ill.
She's got a terminal illness, and so now she's just like, I don't even have any faith in this world anymore. How can you?
She has to deal with this man, and it poisons her literally. It's really interesting.
It's such a sad,
and just like the way people internally justify things, like horrible things like that, like just to be like, an end justify the means kind of thing.
Totally.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win. On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram
The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up